On the weekend, I was out mountain biking with a bunch of friends out in Banff National Park, and we had a bit of a mechanical out on the trail. We had one of our riders rip his rear derailleur right off his brand new bike, which had us doing a bit of trailside maintenance work there. And luckily, we had what we needed to get the job done so he could ride back to the car instead of having to basically push his bicycle probably about 4 or 5 kilometers through the mountains. So I thought this might be a good opportunity to tell you a little bit about toolkits and really the tale of two different types of toolkits. We've got a Lezyne on this side and the Topeak Alien 2 on this side. Two different toolkits, two different situations, 4 different situations, and we'll talk a little bit about that on this video. Okay, as you can see, we've got these two different toolkits. On this side, a Lezyne toolkit. You can go to their website and check out all the different ones they've got there. And the Topeak Alien 2, something I've had a long time. I actually had the original Alien, but now somebody in Cornwall who picked mine up off the side of the road after it fell out of my saddlebag has got that one. But basically the same as the Alien with a few extra little gadgets on it. Let's take a look at the Alien first. And as you can tell, there's certainly a big difference in size here when you're talking about these two different kits. The Alien much heavier than the Lezyne. This weighs a little over 100 grams. This one weighs close to 300, probably a little over with this special little case on it as well. So obviously you've got a weight difference here for you weight weenies out there. You might want to go for something like this, but if you're looking for a do-all everything type tool, the Alien is certainly something that is pretty fancy. And this is what I had on the trail the other day. We had to break a chain and put it back together again. And this is really handy. I mean, this is an amazing toolkit. Comes in 2 pieces like this. As you can see, the Alien has any number of different types of Allen keys on here. I think from about 2 millimeters up to actually being able to work on your pedals. So if you want to remove your pedals from your bike, this one will do it as well. A nice thing about this one too is that you have a Torx wrench on here as well. Now, a lot of mountain bikes, road bikes these days are dealing with disc brakes. If you happen to bend your disc out on the trail or something, you couldn't get it back in properly, you could remove your disc, still ride back and not have any trouble. So this has a Torx wrench on it as well. Plus it's got box wrenches here, as you can see. So if you have an older style bike where you need to adjust it, say maybe cantilever brakes or something like that, it does come with a box wrench as well. And as you can tell, what's really handy about this is that it has tire levers on it. And you can see the 2 tire levers there, so you don't have to carry extra tire levers along with you. It'll do that automatically for you. Just pop them off and off you go. You've got your tire levers. They come right along with this handy little kit. So that's one side of it. On the other side over here, as you can tell, you take a look here, we've got a chain tool. Very, very important when you're out, particularly mountain biking. I've broken chains on the mountain bike trail and on the road trail as well. And you need to know how to use this. It's something that'll really come in handy if you're on the road and you're 40K from your car or you're 40K from your house and you've got a broken chain, you're probably making a telephone call if you don't know how to use it. Otherwise, you pop out a couple of links, off you go, your chain tool is there as well. Now, if you look at the back of this, you can see this little metal plate here. This is actually a locking mechanism which locks in a number of your tools so they won't pop back, particularly one which is quite sharp. So what we'll do is we'll open up the tool, you just push on it like this and you pull out all your different parts, and I'll show you what we've got in here. Here we go. Okay, so you've got your chain tool right here. You've got one of your very small little Allen keys, as you can see right in here, Allen wrenches here. You've got a regular slot screwdriver, which comes with a handy bottle opener, and there's a blade in there. It's actually a saw blade and a knife blade. If you need to cut anything when you're out on the trail, that will come in handy. Also, you've got some box wrenches here, another box wrench here for a different size, but it's also got spoke wrenches. So if you have to break a spoke, all of a sudden your wheel's out of true, you can fix your spokes and straighten out your wheel a little bit, get back to the car much, much nicer. Another box wrench as well, and additional wrenches and Allen keys are on here as well. Now, something I find very amazing about this is the completeness of this tool. If you look at the back of the chain tool, it's got this little gizmo right here. It's a little hard to get off, but once you get it off, what we'll do is we'll pop it off here. Let me see. There we go. There we go. Here it is right here. Now, if you're a mechanic or you've worked on bikes before, you'll know what this is. This is something to attach. If you've broken your chain, very often it's very hard to mess with it trying to get your chain back together because you've got a derailleur pulling on one side. So this hooks on either side of your chain, allows you to slack it off a little bit in the middle so you can put your chain back together. So I talk about being complete. this certainly does everything for you. It's got everything you might need if you're out on the trail. Now again, this is a pretty heavy tool. This weighs about 300 grams or a little less than 300 grams. I don't even think that includes this handy case. But if you're a mountain biker, I don't mind carrying this at all. It gives you everything you need. It's very easy to use because they're big tools and they work perfectly when you're out on the trail. But again, it is rather large and rather heavy. If you're mountain biking, you've got a hydration pack, and out here in Alberta, we carry bear spray with us. A couple extra grams is going to make a lot of difference. And as I say to a lot of people, if they're a weight weenie, drop a couple of pounds. That's probably the best way to go. Now moving over to this one. This is the Lezyne toolkit, and this is what I carry when I'm on my bike, on my road bike. I'm a bit more of a weight weenie rather when I'm on my road bike. I don't want to carry something as large as the Alien 2 along with me. So I looked around for a long time to find the type of tool that would be good on my road bike, and I found that this one right here did everything I needed it to do. This is Lezyne. I've used it a few times. It weighs a little over 100 grams. I know they make a carbon one now, which I think is a little bit lighter. Of course, when you get into carbon, it's going to get a little bit more expensive. But as you can tell, this one has a chain tool on it as well, which comes in really handy. So in case you break your chain when you're out on the road. And it comes in with a number of different Allen keys, including the all-important number 5, which you're going to find you're using mostly when you're doing your bike. Certainly number 5 is probably the 5mm one is the one you're going to use the most. But it's much lighter, doesn't have as many tools, but it will pretty much get you home when you're on the road. If you have any problems, you need to adjust your saddle height or any of your brakes or things like that, this is going to do exactly what you need, and plus that all-important chain tool, which will come in handy as well. Now if you look at this, it's rather ingenious as well. You can see this little slot right in here. Those are spoke wrenches. So it has spoke wrenches as well. As you can see, one is narrower than the other, and there's 2 different spoke wrenches on this one. So if you need to adjust your wheel, if again you break a spoke, which I've done on the road while I'm on the road, and you need to true your wheel, it will certainly come in handy. So that's the Lezyne. Much lighter for you weight weenies. I looked around for a long time, and I ended up getting this one because it was just the right size for me, and it was the right weight as well. Again, it's a personal preference for you. These are what I like, but there's something probably out there for you. You can get them lighter, you can spend a lot more money, you can spend less money, you can have fewer tools, more tools, but the most important thing when it comes to having a toolkit on your bike is knowing how to use it. I'll tell you, it's gotten me out of a lot of jams. Both of these toolkits will get you home and make your ride a lot happier as opposed to having to call for a ride, which is something we don't want to do very often when we're out riding our bikes.